All right, everybody, good afternoon. We are going to continue our look at right guards, and this video is all about the bench. That's right, we need a backup right guard, and there are many good options out there, largely fueled by the fact that right guards, I said in my first video, and I mean it quadruple in this video, they're pretty easy to find. They're all over the place. You just got to go put in the work to find one. You got to find one that suits your system. You got to find one that isn't breaking down physically. Find one with something left to give, and you're good. Unless you're really trying to hit a home run, you can probably fill a right guard spot with a, veteran minimum or slightly above veteran minimum type player. Well, if that's the case for starting right guard, then it's really the case for your backup right guard. We need one right now because Phil Haynes is a free agent. He was your backup right guard last year. So Phil Haynes is momentarily out of the picture. We might bring him back, we might not. Personally, I don't really care that much. He didn't impress me that much. I was kind of disappointed in him, actually. It was a great opportunity for him to seize the starting job this year because of Gabe Jackson's injury. And honestly, I can't tell you that he was any better than Gabe Jackson was when he played, and that is not a compliment. Other than that, you've got Damian Lewis, but Damian Lewis, I've said this before, I'll say it again, is kind of. I feel like he's just kind of embedded himself into that left guard spot. He's playing pretty good. So I don't even want to talk about moving him over. And even if you did, he would be the starter, and then you would still need a backup. So no matter how you slice it, we're going to need another right guard. Maybe you bring in two right guards and have them compete. However you do it, I don't think we're going to go through this whole season with only one right guard on the roster, and then we just say, oh, we'll bump somebody over in case he gets hurt. Like, that's a bad way of doing business. So let's sort through some of these right guards. Mostly going to be a collection of guys who are either disappointments or older guys past their prime. You just got to find the one that either has something or is going to find something this year. So, first guy, Tom Compton of the Denver Broncos. He's about to turn 34, and he barely played in 2022. And when he did play, it didn't go terribly well. So, yeah, definitely buyer beware here. But you can see that in previous years, he's actually played quite well. Back in as recently as 2021, he actually was graded out extremely well by PFF. And in 2020, he was graded out fairly well in a limited number of snaps. So maybe what was happening in Denver in 2022 was just so bad, you can't hold it against him. I don't know. But maybe he's got a little bit of gas. All right, another kind of older guy who may or may not have anything left, it's Justin McCray. The main reason why I'm open to Justin McCray is because I understand that the situation in Houston is pretty rancid. Like, yeah, I don't know if I can hold the things happening in Houston against any one player. Like, Justin McCray is probably just part of a, one small cog in a pretty messed up situation. That being said, his grades were terrible in 2022, really, really bad. Go back to 2021, they're a little bit better, but not anywhere near close to being good. 2020, yeah, I mean, look, he's going to be a veteran minimum guy, and you hope he doesn't have to play very much, if at all. So I'm not expecting anything over the top here, but Justin McCray might be even a little too bad for even what I'm looking for right now. At least I can look at Tom Compton and say he's been good recently. Justin McCray, I got nothing. Justin McCray, when was the last time he was good? Was he ever good? Hard to say. Speaking of guys who were never good, we've also got Cody Ford here. He was a second round pick of the Buffalo Bills not that long ago, and it just didn't ever really work out. I believe he spent this most recent year in Arizona, mostly playing left guard. His grades were atrocious. You go back to 2021, the grades were also really bad, although this year I should say he was actually playing right guard at least, so he's done it before. You go back to 2020, it's a little bit better. He was playing both guard spots throughout the year. So this is just an example of a big, fat, early second round bust. But he looks the part. He's got the talent. He's got the pedigree. Maybe he just needs a better situation. Maybe he just needs the right coordinator and offensive line coach. He's only 26. He's not going to turn 27 until the end of the season. So Cody Ford, Definitely a Vetman guy. You can get him for about $1 million. I think pretty much everybody I'm going to talk about in this video, with one exception, is going to be about $1.5 million. So maybe it's worth that $1 million flyer to see if you can get that talent out of him. You got Greg Van Roten of the Buffalo Bills here. He's been in the league a while as well. He's about to turn 33. And he gave you some fairly competent interior offensive line play in 2022. Grade of about 57.5. Year before that, his grade was actually really good, playing exclusively at right guard. So there's some evidence here that Greg Van Roten actually has a little bit of positivity left. At his age, I doubt he gets more than $2 million. And a quality veteran, reliable backup for $2 million. Yeah, you got to do stuff like that sometimes. So Greg Van Roten, if you want to pick him up and say, hey, he's going to be our backup right guard for this season, I think that's a pretty reasonable route. So sign me up for that. Max Garcia, formerly a Denver Bronco draft pick last year with the Arizona Cardinals, played both guard spots for the Cardinals this year, left and right. Grades were bad, but not terrible. The year before, they were approximately the same, playing mostly at right guard and actually a little bit at center. This guy has career backup written all over him, man. This guy is exactly what you look for when you're trying to find the semi-competent but not good backup player who will play for the minimum. I'm sure Max Garcia would be happy to receive a one-year vet min deal, $1.2 million approximately, and boom, you've got yourself a right guard backup that can go in there and not completely embarrass himself whenever the starter goes down. So, perfectly viable. Now, here's the thing. The 5 guys I just went through, with the possible exception of Greg Van Roten, and I don't even know about that, the possible exception of Greg Van Roten, they're all dime a dozen. Like, I could have gone into free agency and found basically any random collection of 5 guys out of a group of 50, and it would all be about as good. This last guy is a little bit different because he might actually have genuine starter upside. And it's an old friend of ours. It's Oday Aboushi. Yeah, remember Oday? Seahawk for a short period of time. Oday Aboushi has found some success recently in LA. And he's going to turn 32 this offseason, and he's coming off a couple years where he played respectably for LA. So this most recent year, he gave you 350 snaps about and was graded as above average, exclusively a right guard. You go back to the year before that, he gave you 300 snaps of quality play, almost all at right guard. So this guy, at this point, he's too old to ever be expected to be like, a stud, but he's clearly a playable guard and might even belong as a starter in this league. Now, because of circumstances, and again, it's not like his play is anything over the top. He's a backup. He's a high-end backup in this league. Spotrac gives him 2 years, $4.2 million. So just a shade over $2.1 million a year. Yeah, I'll pay a little bit extra for a better backup guard. I'll do that all day. And when you take a look at what he was able to do the last couple years, give you above average play at right guard, and still be young enough to where it doesn't seem like he's going to suddenly be over the hill tomorrow, sure. Oday Aboushi, that might be the pick you want to make if you're trying to really protect yourself against a potential guard injury. So all 6 of these guys would be reasonable options. This is probably my favorite. Let me know what you guys think. Did I miss anybody? Would you recommend looking at things a different way? Let me know. See you guys later. Go Hawks.